That's what brings us to today is numbers. We got our brother, the numerator, Mr. Dan Edland, who is so good at putting numbers together and bringing, sometimes that's what people need is they just need to see the numbers so that their brain cell can calculate or be able to figure it out and realize why this is so dang important. So I'm not sure what kind of numbers we're going to talk about today, but always dig getting in here with you once a month, Dan, and talking some numbers and seeing how we can utilize that to help people wake up and change their lives, change their water, and change their lives.
Well, the biggest thing too with the magic, because all people think about when you're talking to them is, this guy's trying to get me to spend a bunch of money. They don't really understand, just like I didn't really understand the other side of that, and how life-changing that can be. I mean, so what we really need to make people understand is that, and it's just people are in that mentality, that 9 to 5 mentality, that I have I have my plan mentality. And, a lot of times, I mean, especially like in the last year, people woke up and realized, there's nothing wrong with having a plan B, because sometimes you wake up and your plan A isn't even around anymore, right? I mean, a lot of people and displaced, a lot of people, automation is coming. I mean, if you think it isn't, I mean, people need to wake up. There's a lot of people out there being replaced, and those jobs won't come back. And so when people are looking at Kangen water, we want to be able to show them hey, these are the benefits. And once you understand the benefits, don't you think somebody else that would want to benefit too? Because whether you want to admit it or not, AI is changing the face of the workforce, and over the next 10 years is going to be one of the biggest job displacement situations, that this country has ever seen. I mean, I was just looking at a thing last night. I don't know if it was Walmart or one of those deals, but it showed this tower. I mean, and me and Wets could get in there and hit golf balls and not hit one side or the other, and there wasn't a human in place. It was just all these robots running around these different groceries and getting everything, stacked up and loaded up, and that stuff's going to go on to trucks, and I guarantee if you would have looked at that warehouse 5 years ago, there would have been humans in there. And they're just not.
Man, that is definitely something that people should be paying attention to.
Well, yeah, because there's people get so scared, they think everybody's trying to sell them something, and so we start talking about the machine, and the first thing, oh, well, how much? Oh my God, I could never do that. You could never do what? You could never do what? You could never what? You could never make $50,000 extra a year of in your spare time. You could never make an extra $30,000 a year. You could never have optimal health on a daily basis. And by the way, this is a byproduct. By the way, if you don't sell anything, you could still write off an additional $3,000, $5,000, $7,000 a year on your taxes. What is it that you can't do? Oh my God, I could never do that. Why? Pay for a pothole or give it to your, pay for another pothole in Idaho or give it to yourself. What is it that you can't do? But they're so conditioned to right off the bat just go, oh my God, I could never afford anything like that. Well, of course you could afford something like that. If I handed you the same thing and said, hey, this is a gas card. This is a great I think it's a great analogy. Hey, Wets, here's this gas card. Here's the deal. It's $5,000, brother. What? Yeah, you know what? That's expensive, but you know what? You never have to buy gas again. Matter of fact, you can even give it to your friends. They can use it to buy gas. Anybody you want to share this gas card with. Now all of a sudden, is that $5,000 expensive, or is that super cheap? It's very cheap. If somebody said to you, JJ, here's $5,000 for a gas card, but you only have 12 hours to come up with it, you do everything in your power to find that $5,000, because somehow in your brain that makes sense to you. But when we're talking about water and health and something like that, it's a little bit different for people to try and relate.
Yeah, they don't think of of water as the gas for their machine.
No, and then that's why we have to have the question and the chat with them about why is that car that's a depreciating asset that really does nothing for you except for every once in a while somebody may drive by and go, oh, nice car. You know, why is this depreciating asset that does absolutely nothing in your life such a priority over your own temple? Right? Why are you not thinking about your own health, your own wellness, your own longevity? In the way that you are this car. You don't even value the same way you do a piece of steel that literally, I mean, most people's car, what does it get them? It gets them nothing. I mean, you know, they don't make money off of it. They lose money every time they drive it, but they don't think about it that way because maybe, you know, it makes them feel good, or they get to get in there and listen to their music, or, you know, it's freedom to get away from the home, but they get these ideas in their head. But, you know, we have to educate them on what it is that they're saying no to.
Yeah. I like that analogy. That's a great one, you know, because you're right. If people knew that for $5,000 they could get gas paid for in their vehicle for the rest of their life, they'd be getting that thing done like stat, or being totally
They
bummed out that they weren't able to make it happen.
I mean, they'd borrow the money at 12% if they had to, but then, you know, but then you'll get the people, well, if I qualified for the 0%, oh, okay, so hold on a second, I just want to clear this up. So you'll pay interest on your dishwasher, and you'll pay interest on your Sears card, and you'll pay interest on the new rims on your tires, and you'll pay interest on your gas that you get on your Visa, but you'll pay not one penny of interest in yourself. Not one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And why
Well,
are
again,
these, and why are these things more important to you than yourself? I don't understand.
you think about it though, on just a psychological, emotional level. We're talking about people not understanding the plan B. People are so desperately and just unilaterally tied to a job. They're like, I have to wear a mask. I have to get a vaccine. I have to play the game because that's all I got. And they can't even think about the fact that, for one, if I have to wear a mask for this job, that is all I got. They don't even think necessarily about getting out of it. They figure out they have to wear a mask and they have to get a vaccine. They would rather do that, sadly enough, than step out and look at the thing objectively from the outside looking in. I always call it being a sticky turd, you know, as the rest of the turds are spinning around, floating down to the bottom of the bowl. The sticky turd's hung up on the porcelain somewhere, and he's like holding on for dear life. And by the time they're going down, the sticky turd's watching everything go down the drain, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I like being the sticky turd and being able to see it from a different perspective. J. John is giggling. But no, I mean, that's
Yeah,
the
you know, and I
thing.
think
This psycho-emotional perspective people have doesn't even allow them to consider another avenue, you know.
I've been a sticky
right.
turd
And
my whole life.
Yes, not a stinky
it's just,
turd, a sticky turd.
well, and you know, and it's, you know, but people have, you know, and it's really, you know, I tell them, hey, it's not your fault. I mean, you've been conditioned to think this is the only way you can make it, to get up, put on your clothes, get in your car, sit in traffic, go punch your clock, do your thing. And at the end of 2 weeks, we've traded time for money. We've traded time for money, but somebody else has determined, you know, what you're worth, when you can have more. You don't, you know, and that's the thing, is like people in the plan A mentality, and that's fine. I understand that. But the thing is you're never building anything for yourself. You're never building anything that can ever, you know, the job is always going to be what the job is. I mean, and once a year, every 2 years, they'll pull you in and say, hey, and give you an evaluation. And if you're lucky, you get a little bit of a raise. But the thing is you have little or no determination of what that time is worth, where, you know, in doing something like this, I mean, you don't know what kind of home run you can hit. You don't know how the impact you make with the next person's life is going to, you know, affect the person after that. So, you know, this is something where you can actually, build for something for yourself. If you don't have time, you can do it part-time. You can start part-time. I certainly did. And you don't really know where it's going to go. But the job that you have, I mean, you can pretty much determine what you're going to be doing in 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, etc. And that's not.
Yeah. I mean, look, and that's been viable for so many people for so long. But the way I look at it, at the end of the day, those people are just treading water every month, treading water to keep from sinking, to where what you're talking about doing is, putting in a period of time to build and then being on a floaty, drinking a Mai Tai and, in a pool in Cancun somewhere.
Well,
Not complaining about your coworkers and your boss, your schedule, and how you got screwed for graveyard again. And there's that whole caveat with it. Not only are they tied to all that, the whole conversation. I hate hearing people bitch about work. And all I do is, well, why are you still working there? Well, what do you mean? Well,
yeah,
you either really love to complain about your work and everything in your life and your situation, or you just haven't figured out an alternative. And a lot of times people see the alternative and they would rather stay and complain, and that's their mojo. So like you said, it's trying to get people's attention and find the ones. I'm done trying to appeal to the masses. The masses have proven they're retarded.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm trying to find the people that are reaching, that want more. It's like the person don't know what else to do, so they join the army. It's like, God, catch those kids. Say, oh, you don't know what to do. You want to get into something. Let's turn you into a 6-figure earner within 2 years and never look back.
And the thing is too now is, I mean, I think with what happened, that people are starting to understand, maybe it's not going to allow their brain to go, okay, I want to do this right now. But I think they're at least starting to understand the conversation of, you may not be as secure as you were, and so, and it's funny too, because there's always the other side of it where people go, yeah, I don't know, it's just water. And the thing is like, people don't understand the valuable commodity that water is becoming right before their eyes. I mean, if it's one of the most valuable things in the world that nobody ever talks about. You know what I mean?
The new gold. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. If you have a conversation with them about real estate or gold or whatever, they can envision, earnings. But, I've had people say to me, that's ridiculous. You can't make any money from water. And it's just, it's just weird. Where do these people get not only these ideas, but they're so ingrained in them that they speak this and they feel that that's their truth. I mean, there is a huge market out there for something right now that people are doing every single day. So the things you have to look at: the product, the company, the compensation, the need, the timing. If you run through those boxes with a magic, if you go through every one of those boxes, if somebody gives me 3 minutes on each one of those boxes, they're going, oh, because they don't think that way. They don't understand. But, this is a huge thing. And with each passing year becomes more valuable and more needed, right?
Yeah. Well, and think about it, when you're looking at it, there's not only a market for making money with water, but considering the limitations that are already being imposed to a lot of different places in the country with respect to water usage and just cutting people back, there's a market to make money in the water industry by helping people not only save money, but to save water and turn it into the most hydrogen rich, oxygen saturated, type of water on the planet. I mean, it's just a home run.
Yeah, I had a guy, we went to this guy's house the other day, and he was a real estate guy and his wife was a nutritionist. And he goes, it's funny because he goes, well, you don't have to tell me, I'm already doing the deal. And he opened up this cupboard and he had just these bottles lined with these, 24-ounce Essentias. And, and I said, hey, that's a heck of a first start. But here's the thing. Let's talk about one thing. And then, we started talking about the differences, obviously, between the two. But it was kind of relatively easy after that, because he said, I think I'm in the what, $7, $8, $9 a gallon. So having the conversation about, okay, what if we were just apples to apples? Because putting baking soda in tap water is not the same thing as ionized water. It's not has the same
Right.
effect as molecular hydrogen. But let's just say we're apples to apples with your Essentia there. We can get rid of your carbon footprint. We can get rid of all this plastic. We can do this, we can do that. And I'm going to take you from self-admittedly $7.80 a gallon to around 22 cents. He's like, deal. I mean, most people are spending the money. They just have to have that conversation. I mean, because with some people, you know, when you break it down to it, that they're spending 2 times for their water what they are for the gas in their car, you know,
Yeah.
they can feel a little silly about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, when you can give people the, like, let's say that, let's run through that real quick, Dan. Somebody
Okay.
that's buying Essentia, because there's certainly a lot of people out there buying Essentia and they think it's so good for them. Give them some numbers to help them understand how they're literally spending more money on that water that they're drinking than they are for the gasoline that's going into their car or their truck.
Well, and this I was actually getting it in bulk. So if you go to most little stores and see like a 16-ounce Essentia, they're running about $1.69 to $1.99. This guy was buying it in bulk, so we figured out that he was paying $1.99 for a 24-ounce bottle. So we go 28 divided by 24. So he was getting 5.33 times $1.99, and then we're 1061 times 10.4%, where he was 1061 plus $1.09. So he was $11.69 a gallon.
$11.69 a gallon for water.
Yeah, because you take 128 ounces in a gallon divided by 24-ounce bottle, you get 5.33 times $1.99, and then take the sum total and add tax. So, you know, there's this guy with a $100,000 Mercedes downstairs, and you know, how do you think he feels knowing I'm paying 3 times I am for the water than I am for premium fuel? I mean, it's just. But if you don't take the time, they're like, well, you know, I never really thought about it that way. I just kind of buy it, you know, one thing at a time.
Right.
But that's incredibly expensive. I mean, if somebody would have said to somebody 20 years ago, all these people that you're talking to now, they go, oh my God, are you kidding? That thing's expensive. Well, would you ever pay, you know, $5 a gallon for water? Are you kidding? Hell no. But so many people are, and they don't even realize it, because even when you get down to your lower level waters, you know, your Dasanis, your Aquafinas, your just basic garbage, you're still in that $3.25 to $5 a gallon area.
Right. And so if you take that Essentia and you extrapolate that over a year's period of time, what does that work out to? Because that's 10 something a day, or how much of that, let's say if somebody's drinking a gallon a day.
So, well, here's a better one. At only a half a gallon a day, and we know you need to be drinking a lot more, but at only a half a gallon a day, it's 2,200 a year. So if he's drinking what he's supposed to be drinking, which is a gallon a day, then you're at 4,400. There's your machine in 1 year. And that's, forget the 2.5, forget the 11.5, forget the beauty water, forget this, forget that, forget the sanitizer, forget everything.
Just the drinking water.
You're a machine a year in drinking water, $4,400.
Wow, yeah, that buys you right there. That outright buys you your SD 501.
Well, think about it. If you got a family, then you're really saving money.
Well, and then I was going to say, so now we didn't even talk about his wife, who's a nutritionist. So she's obviously making her little effort to go up in that cupboard and grab an Essentia every day. And then there was a 13-year-old daughter living in the thing. So even if we just went, you know, full tilt on one, and then a half gallon for the daughter and a half gallon for the wife, then you go to $7,000 a year for water.
Yeah, what an amazing way of looking at it. You know, you just don't look at it that way until somebody brings it to your attention, right?
You know, and it seems weird, JJ. A lot of people don't like to have that conversation because they go, God, you know, it is so different though. You know, you can't discount how different it is. But I'll tell people, forget about the differences for a second. Okay, let's break it down like this. It doesn't matter that you're holding a landline and I'm trying to hand you an iPhone 12. Let's forget that. Let's just say, here's your landline and here's my phone. Let's say they're identical. Let's just break it down to cost, because 80% of the homes that you go into, they're going to go, oh no, we don't drink tap water. Oh, terrific. What do you use to hydrate yourselves with? Oh, well, we get this. Okay, if we just take the math on the bottles, forget the 2.5, forget the 11.5, forget all the hundreds of uses of the machine. Let's just do math. You're already spending the money. The only thing I'm really having a conversation with you about today is going from $3.86 a gallon to about 20 cents. Now, I know this is a little bit more of a higher ticket initially, right in the initial second of the purchase. But don't you feel a little silly long-term knowing you're going to spend 7, 10, 15, 20, $30,000 in water in the next 8, 10, 12 years? And let's keep this in mind, JJ, that's only if it never goes up. Now, when is somebody who puts out a product like Coke or Pepsi or anything just ever said, you know, people are having a tough time? It's exactly the opposite. It's like, hey, they need what we have. They need this commodity. I mean, you can see why bottled water has gone up every single year. It's not getting cheaper. It's because people need it. More people are getting trained to the thing that, you know, don't drink tap water, drink a form of bottled water. So even if we just go over the price, what's in the plastic, et cetera, I mean, apples to apples, you're going to come out way ahead. Now let's discuss the benefits. You get to wash your produce. You get to, you know, have your own hand. Did you buy any hand sanitizer this year? Oh my God, yeah. Okay. You know, you get to clean your countertops. You can do your laundry. You can do this. You can spray your dog. You can use the beauty water on your plants, and then kind of go from there.
Right. Yeah.
You know, but the other thing about this thing is is back to the original point of, you can do this while you're doing whatever you're doing. Because would you like to know how long I've been talking to that lady that I just signed up 2 days ago?
Um,
We met on Facebook 3 years and 2 months ago.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
she bought a machine on Sunday night.
That's why.
And she's a nutritionist, for Christ's
Consistent,
sakes.
kids. Just keep on staying consistent. Keep doing what you're doing. Like Sam says, people, hey, are you still doing that water thing? Yeah. Are you still breathing? Yeah.
Also,
Right.
too, Dan, with her being a nutritionist, she also needs to know to be able to have our vitamins and nutrients get derived into our cells and into our bodies. We need the best water to derive that into our cells.
Right. But her and her husband kind of thought they were already doing the deal with Essentia. They didn't really know the difference. But here's the thing, JJ, this is an interesting motivator. So, you know, why do you think that it is that she called me? I mean, just out of curiosity.
Tell you something else.
Well, here's what she did. I always see your stuff. I always think about, you know, I see your posts. I see this. I see that. I said, so why after 3 years and 2 months did you call me and say, can you come over tomorrow and do the paperwork and talk? All you gotta do is talk to my husband for 5 minutes and do the paperwork. Why is that? Well, here's the thing. She said, I was on the phone on Thursday with my girlfriend in Idaho and said, I came across this thing. Have you ever heard of it? And she goes, oh, I've been meaning to get one of those for the last couple years. So she called me so that she could do that. And then now we're going to do one for her girlfriend when she gets back in a couple days. So the thing is even for her, it, you know, you look at people's motives and it's like, now here's her opportunity. And it's not a money thing. They don't need the money. They don't need anything. But it's as it becomes more socially acceptable and people start talking about it, it's like, oh, yeah, let me get mine and I can help you get yours.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I think, you know, these videos, I think, have the potential to be the most powerful because they, you know, when people actually start putting the numbers together. I know that's why you're one of the reasons, at least, why you're so successful at this, Dan, is because you're really good at helping people run the numbers. That's why I call you the numerator.
Well, and you know,
Bashes and crashes with numbers, baby.
well, here's the thing. What I found is, you know, if you talk to people about their health, they don't get it. If you talk to them about water, but when you break down money, that's something that people universally across the board, everybody would kind of like to have a little bit more of, right?
Right.
Would kind of like to have a little bit more of. That's where their fear of JJ and his water gizmo comes in, because they don't want to have less of it. And every time JJ gets on the phone with me, he starts talking about this thing that's going to cause me to have much less of my own money that I already have. So that's where it becomes on us to make them understand, you know, what if when I bought my machine 5 years ago, I certainly didn't think I was ever going to talk to anybody about water. When he told me, you know, you could actually, I mean, dude, you're kind of a unique guy when, you know, you could run with this thing and make 6 figures. And I thought, he's out of his mind. Are you kidding me? That's what you're going to tell me to try and get one of these things? I mean, you don't have to lie to me. I mean, I just, you know, what are you talking about? You know, the thing is so we don't really put together things that can be simple, right? Sometimes simple for simple people is just too simple, right? You know, in Magic, that's the one thing I will say about an Magic. When you really break down this compensation plan, like if somebody says, hey, give me 15 minutes on the comp plan, it really is one of those things in life that sounds too good to be true.
Mhm.
Isn't that the truth, you guys? This company is too good to be true. It feels like it. It felt like it from the beginning, but once you get involved and you see what it really is, you realize it is true.
Mhm.
It is real.
I mean, you know,
What if-
let's take an example. Let's take an example of a lady calling up after 3 years and 2 months, and you say, why do you want a machine? And she says, well, I want one. And I guess what motivated me is because my girlfriend's looking to get one. Okay, well, I mean, if you understand the compensation and not getting off on the money track, but I mean, how many times does a human being have an opportunity to make, let's say in this case, $4,000 literally in a matter of, here's the other beautiful thing about a Magic. The work on this deal was done 3 years and 2 months ago, and it was done as I dripped every 3 or 4 months, or as I posted something that wasn't even meant to her. So the payoff is very, very different. So I could never sit there and go, well, me and Sean have got 18 hours in this deal, and now we get to make this. It doesn't work that way. This just generates because of past work. So it's hard to even quantify. But I mean, if you talk to an individual about having the opportunity to make, you know, $3,000 or $4,000 in a matter of days, it's very, very hard for most humans to conceive.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah, speaking about dripping, I've been doing a lot of that, but I don't want to overpower anybody or push them into anything. I have to be the product of the product. And we just got word that the guy that owns the golf course that my husband grew up in, and he's pretty much, you know, established in there. And they told us that Jeff has terminal cancer and he's going to close the course down. And that really got my husband's wheels going. So now we're setting up a plan to go over and talk with him and letting him know that what you're facing right now, you're just going to add more to it because they want to do chemo, they want to do radiation, they want to, you know, do all that protocol. And I'm like, no, we go over there, sit down, don't let it, you know, don't overpower him with everything, but just let him know the importance of hydration and nutrition and getting the right protocol to help him battle that cancer.
Yeah.
Very
I've
effective.
been doing that for over 2 years too, because I've been in this now over 2 years. And they've seen me at my weakest. Some people have seen me at my weakest, but yet still ignored, you know, what I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah. You just got to be consistent. And you know what? There's going to be a day that they will listen. I hope sooner than.
Yeah. And the thing about anybody like in your situation, Marilyn, when you start off in a smaller town and people don't have it or whatever, you need to,
Yes.
what you're lacking is the third party validation. Because
Yeah,
when
I don't
somebody
have
goes,
anything.
so when somebody says, oh my God, can you believe Marilyn, da, 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 man, I saw her at the grocery store last week. She started talking about that water. And then the problem is you don't have the person going, I know, you know what? I thought she was crazy too, but then I started drinking that stuff and I felt amazing. And
Yeah.
you know what? It was a lot of money, but then I got one of those things from her. And then this is what happened to me. And then this is what happened to my husband. And you just don't have any of that. And it's very difficult. It's very difficult to get that.
Yeah, I know.
Initially.
But I'm not going to give up.
That is no, and I'm not saying to. I mean, the people that lose are the ones that give up. But here's the deal.
Yeah.
The thing is, you want to be the person that when it does start to catch steam because of you, people understand, you know what? She was saying it all along. I mean, you know what? All the people, Elon Musk was considered crazy, right? You can't start an electric car company. This guy's an idiot.
Yeah, right.
Jeff Bezos, nobody will buy a book online. People want to, even my dad, who is an amazing businessman, he goes, that thing's never going to fly. People want to go in. I was like, why? And they go, people buy books. They want to feel them. They want to touch them. They want to open it up and smell that it's brand new. And I go, really? But that was his idea of what Amazon could be. I remember the first time that, a really pretty girl like approached me in the mall and said, have you ever thought about owning a cell phone? And I thought, what kind of idiot would ever need a phone to walk around with? Right now, we can't. No. But that was my best thinking. That was my limited thinking. And you know what? Trust me, I wasn't alone. What did they say about a cell phone back then? Oh my God, 32 cents a minute. And that thing's expensive. And that's ridiculous. They're never going to sell any of those. People don't know. Look, I mean, and if you don't believe me, just go back and look at history. IBM signs away the biggest deal in the history of modern man by telling Bill Gates, we don't really care about the guts on the inside. We just want to sell the computers. They gave away the biggest transfer of wealth in modern history because they didn't understand the value. They thought they were gaming him that day. And what he ended up doing was, he got the golden goose. They get to sell computers, but he got the guts that drives all the computers, right? That's why my piece of crap computer's going, you need an update, and I can't even get on to do a Zoom, right? But the thing is if you go back in history and look at things, especially in the things of technology or new ways of thinking, people are often ridiculed. They're often ridiculed. It's throughout history. I mean, I was reading a thing one time where they had seriously considered, and I think it was 1962 or 1963, closing a portion of the patent office because they were convinced that everything in the world that could be created already had.
Wow,
that's good, funny right there.
Right. But if you take people, your television from 1975, and now let's take a Chrysler from 1955. Everything in the world has evolved. Why would you have the thinking that the better version of the most valuable commodity on the planet, and why?
Yeah. Well, you guys, that's it.
Right?
That's the truth. We have the most valuable commodity. The only more valuable commodity on earth is air.
Yeah.
We've got the second most valuable commodity, water. And we all know that it's very special water. We just need to get better at helping people understand what the difference is, and so that's what these meetings are all about. That's what this is all about, is trying to help people learn what the difference is. Give ourselves some tools that we can get out to people and get people to listen. Third party validation kind of thing. You don't believe me? Listen to these people. that kind of
Right.
thing. You know, so yeah, and I really appreciate you coming on here every month and, you know, sharing this stuff with us, because every month it gives us something else to think about, something else to utilize, another tool to put in the toolbox, and you know, hopefully we can continue to build this thing, and you know, get
You know, and the funny thing too, Marilyn, when you were talking about, you know, being the person that, you know, hasn't been able to get the traction yet. I mean, I was thinking about it the other day, you know, when I walked out of this lady's house with the paperwork, and the first time I talked to her about the water, I was a 4A, right? And I just thought, you know, so would it have been great if she bought back then? Yeah.
Yeah.
But she waited.
Mhm.
She waited for whatever her reasons were. And then look what happened. So instead of getting her as a 3, I get her as an 8.
Yeah. That's
So,
great.
so,
great.
so not that it's a thing of win or losers, but it didn't hurt me that she waited. It didn't
Right.
hurt me that I needed her to catch up with what was going on. And you need to look at everybody around you in that thing. You know, I tell people, it's okay, Marilyn, you don't have to get one. You're going to end up owning one anyway. Just let me know when it's the right time. You know, and,
Yeah.
and they look at that confidence and think this guy's crazy. But I will tell you what, I could go back to when I started this thing, and I could put down a list of 100 names of people that are like, you know what? I know they know, like, and trust me, but I'm just telling you, they're never going to buy one of these from me. And I bet you 70% of them are owners now.
Wow.
Even the ones that told me, Dan, never again. Don't bring it up, please. We're friends. You don't have to talk about water every time we see each other. Just
I know. I get that too.
Yeah,
I need to shut my mouth is what I'm told.
and what I'm telling you is I've had that conversation with 4 or 5 or 6 people really, really close to me in my life. And of those 6, I'm telling you, honest to God, 5 are owners.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah. But you want to know why? Because I didn't keep pounding on them. Now I dripped every once in a while.
Mhm.
But what they did is they saw something on Facebook, or they saw something, or they had an issue with themselves and said, all right, man, I never thought I was going to call you and ask you this, but, you know, do you think it can help with this? I don't know. I'll put a machine in your house for 10 days and we can see. I didn't have to do all that stuff, but
Mhm.
you need that initial third party to help you, because it's not
I
an easy
know.
place. It's not an easy
I
place
know.
to be in where you're at right now. But, you know, it starts with 1 and 2 become 5 and 5 become 12. And,
Yeah.
you know, you'll get a foothold in that town, you know, eventually. But the thing
I
is,
want to put, I would love to have my own water store. I really,
well,
every time I see a building that's for sale, I'm like, Bud, that'll be a great spot. You know, I don't want to go out of town, but yet, you know, we got to spread it somehow.
well, and the other thing is you can incorporate it into something else that maybe the town needs. Like maybe you have a little coffee spot, but it's, you know, we proudly only serve Kangen water, or you do whatever. I know some girls in a town in Michigan in the next, you know, 12 to 18 months that are opening a coffee bar with Kangen water, and they plan on having it be like a really, you know, an educational spot, but
Yeah,
you know,
that's what I
not,
want to do.
but
Yeah.
not just solely focused on the water. So the
Right.
thing is sometimes you find other means or other
Mhm.
things where that can sustain you having that business, but then the water is just a byproduct of it.
Right.
Like JJ, think about like Rossum down there in Oregon. So, you know, his bread and butter is the smoothies and the pastries and all the stuff he sells, but water is the absolute backbone of his business now, because it's becomes so important in that town. A town, by the way, that, you know, when he told him 3 years ago he was going to open up a, you know, a raw food and vegan store. I mean, he said, you know, they just couldn't stop laughing. They're like, dude, in this town, are you kidding? And now, I mean, Liz and I were down there a few months ago. There must have been, what, 6, 7, 8, 9 people walked in to get water just in the hour we were there. I mean, it's completely become something that not even he could have envisioned.
Mhm.
I was supposed to go meet him this weekend, Dan. I didn't make it down.
What a great guy, man.
I know it. I know it. I can't wait to meet him.
Great
Where-
guy, great place. I mean, just
Whereabouts in Michigan
amazing
are those
energy.
people that want to open up the coffee place?
I could ask her. Matter of fact, she just got back from there last week. She was back there visiting a bunch of family, and she helped her cousin get a machine. But I'll find out. But the one girl's getting a marketing degree at one of the universities back there, so she's only like 20. But the other girl lives out here in Seattle, but Michigan's her home. But I'll find out. Maybe they're not that far from you. I don't know.
Yeah, I would love to meet up with them. Definitely. Because my vision is to not just have it for water, but to have education, know your why, to know the root cause, to know that mentally, physically, and emotionally affected if we are not alkalining our body.
Right.
We need to understand what alkaline and alkalize is. It's really important that we are educated. And I want a pink Himalayan sea salt room. That's my vision.
Well, and if you look at the strides that have been taken for you, I mean, if you look at, alkaline water sales 10 years ago to alkaline water sales now, I mean, you got to know that the freight train is coming. You just have to be able to distinguish between the two. When people find out they're paying $8.79 a gallon, they're a little bit, when they find out that they're paying $8.79 for a dab of baking soda, it's a little insulting. So you have somewhere to go. I mean, why in the world would you keep handing these companies that already have so much money? Why? Why would you hand them your hard-earned money? You can stop that today. You can have better for much, much less. Here's the thing, JJ, are you there?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm here.
Because, think
You
about
look like
this.
you're in a trance.
Think about this, JJ.
Serious.
I mean, if you went up to somebody on a street level and said, hey, so let's just take you, JJ. So, let's say take your phone bill. You have a cellular phone. What's your payment? $120 a month, right? $100 a month, whatever your payment is. Okay. Well, what if I could give you bigger, faster, better, you can do 1,000 more things with that phone. And by the way, I'm going to cut your bill by 1/20th. You'd have every single person in America's attention. The only thing they would want to know from you is, as long as it's equal or better, I'm a dealer. You don't have to say anything to me. And why can't we equate that same conversation over with water? Because here's the deal. If somebody's buying alkaline water, they're already paying the phone bill. And we're not showing them something equal. I'm giving you the iPhone 17 that's not coming out for 5 years with 20G speed, and I'm giving it to you for 1/20th of the money. So what's the conversation?
Right. Yeah.
But the thing is, until we can really, really, really explain that difference, we all know on this call that alkaline is about the trunk of the car of what this machine does, because all of the values in the antioxidants.
Right.
Yes. Mhm.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. I love it.
This is
So
really
Dan,
interesting.
thank you so much for coming in here once again. We're gonna, unless anybody has any questions for Dan or something else that needs to be brought up, I think this has been a great show. I'd like to
Mhm.
keep it a little bit short today. And
Hey, Dan, how much electrolysis enhancer can we pick up in Linwood at a time?
Cases.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Thanks, bud.
Yep. As long as they got it in stock, cases. I mean, cases. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay,
awesome.
everybody.
Well, I love you guys
good to
all.
see
I want to
everybody.
give a closing prayer here before we go, and then let's get on with another amazing day, huh?
Thank you for everything, you guys. Thank you.
Amen.
Well, Father in heaven, I want to thank you once again for another amazing, beautiful day, and allowing me to wake up and open my eyes and be part of this amazing group of people and this incredible company. I want to ask for some blessings for Dan and for Sean and for Marilyn and for everybody that's here today, for Tara and for Paul and for myself and for, everybody that's part of this amazing family of people. Because Lord, you know as well as I do that we have something special going on here. And we know that we need your help. We need your help to reach people, reach their hearts and their minds so that they can understand how important this is and what a blessing this is going to be for their lives. Please just help us to get stronger, get more confident, to be able to run the numbers. I want to say thanks for Dan, for you keeping Dan around so that he can keep coming in here and giving us some numbers, some things for us to think about that we can share with other people so that we can open up their minds. I want to ask for some love for all the people that are out there making these machines, everybody that's working so hard behind the scenes, all the people that are doing the deliveries. Always got to ask for some love for our trucker friends, for Scotty and Rodgar and Sylvia and Elvis and all the rest of them, because if it wasn't for them out there delivering these things, we wouldn't be able to get them into people's homes and be able to work on this process of changing the world for the best that we're working on daily. And just want to say thank you for everything that you do for us to help us to accomplish that mission. We know that it's fairly daunting, but we believe that it can be done, and we're working on it daily. All of this, Lord, I'm asking you humbly in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ, my Savior, our Savior. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, you guys. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you. You have a
Rock and
blessed
roll,
day.
Dan. Thank you, bud.
Thank you.
Don't
Thank
forget
you.
your hugs, kids.
Yeah, don't forget those hugs.
All right, you guys. I love you. Make it a
Love you
great day.
guys. Have a blessed day.
We'll talk to you again
Yeah.
soon.
Bye-bye.